Hold on to your seats and your designer handbags, because Hollywood's latest takedown is nothing short of explosive. The queen of effortless chic and Instagram wit, Blake Lively, is now at the center of a scandal so scorching, it's rewriting the rules of celebrity downfall. And leading the charge? None other than podcast giant Joe Rogan. Forget whispers and cryptic social media posts. This isn't your typical Hollywood feud. It's a full-on, five-alarm media firestorm ignited by Rogan's no-holds-barred podcast, and Blake Lively has found herself dead center in the crosshairs. What could have triggered such a colossal backlash? A legal disaster that has rocked Tinseltown to its core. Reports reveal that Blake Lively has suffered a devastating legal blow. This isn't just a minor hiccup or a hush-hush settlement, it's a brutal, court-validated defeat. The lawsuit accuses Lively of orchestrating a campaign to sabotage director Justin Baldoni, and the courtroom didn't just hear the allegations, it seemingly validated them. The implications? Monumental. This isn't just a PR nightmare, it's a career-threatening meltdown of epic proportions. Enter Joe Rogan, armed with his massive platform and razor-sharp commentary. In a podcast episode that hit the internet like a thunderclap, Rogan dismantled every gritty detail of Lively's alleged misconduct with surgical precision. Picture this. Rogan, headphones on, leaning into the mic, his voice dripping with authority and disdain as he delivers a merciless takedown of Blake's character, her motives, and her now legally challenged actions. Early reports from listeners paint a brutal picture. Rogan doesn't just comment, he dissects. He's reportedly deployed every weapon in his rhetorical arsenal, scathing sarcasm, biting mockery, and his signature bluntness. His portrayal of Lively? Not as a misunderstood artist, but as a manipulative Hollywood insider who allegedly abused her influence to sabotage a rival's career and ultimately faced public, legal humiliation for her actions. Rogan's takedown isn't just harsh, it's becoming viral, with phrases like utterly humiliated, Hollywood hypocrisy exposed, and karma with a capital K spreading like wildfire across social media. He's contrasting Blake's once polished public persona with the darker allegations behind the scenes, painting her as the ultimate Hollywood elite caught red-handed. And let's be clear, Rogan isn't just talking to the celebrity gossip crowd. His audience spans millions, fiercely loyal listeners who trust his judgment and relish his unfiltered opinions. Now, they're hearing a narrative that frames Blake Lively not as a beloved actress, but as the villain of this unfolding Hollywood drama. This isn't just a PR setback, it's a digital guillotine. Rogan's influence is accelerating the scandal, ensuring it doesn't just burn, it incinerates. If the allegations are true, Blake's carefully curated image could be left in ashes. Now, let's dive deeper into the legal battle that set this inferno ablaze. At the heart of this storm is the lawsuit, an aggressive retaliation allegedly launched by director Justin Baldoni, and the powerhouse studio behind it ends with us. This wasn't a mild response to media rumors, it was a full-on legal blitzkrieg. The accusations? That Blake Lively orchestrated a targeted smear campaign, attempting to undermine Baldoni's professional credibility. Sources close to the case suggest the lawsuit details a calculated effort by Lively to control the narrative surrounding it ends with us. The claims allegedly include leaked text messages implying malicious intent, anonymous tips to gossip sites designed to tarnish Baldoni's reputation, and a behind-the-scenes campaign aimed at portraying him as unprofessional and creatively inadequate. But the courtroom battle didn't just expose allegations, it reportedly validated them. According to insiders, the evidence presented was damning enough for a decisive legal defeat. And that's where Rogan comes in, tearing apart every piece of this scandal for his millions of listeners, leaving no stone unturned. Adding fuel to the fire, reports suggest that witnesses involved in the case are staying anonymous, allegedly out of fear of retaliation and bullying. This layer of fear only deepens the scandal, painting a picture of a toxic behind-the-scenes power struggle. As TMZ and other outlets continue to report, there's speculation that Blake's PR team is scrambling to control the narrative, spinning the story of anonymous witnesses as a tactic of fear rather than genuine concern. But the damage may already be done. The repercussions of this legal disaster are reverberating far beyond the courtroom. Rogan's commentary has turned a high-profile lawsuit into a public spectacle, and the internet is erupting. Social media timelines are flooded with heated debates, memes, and viral sound bites of Rogan's takedown. The once beloved Blake Lively is now being painted as a manipulative figure whose alleged power plays have backfired spectacularly. The irony? Blake Lively's career was built on an image of effortless charm, wit, and elegance. Her social media presence, her fashion choices, and her public persona crafted the image of Hollywood royalty who could do no wrong. But this scandal threatens to dismantle that carefully constructed facade. In the court of public opinion, perception is everything, and right now, Blake Lively's reputation is on the line. But let's not forget another player in this unfolding drama, Ryan Reynolds. As Blake's husband and a major Hollywood powerhouse himself, Reynolds' reaction, or lack thereof, could influence the narrative even further. His silence so far has been deafening, but the question remains: will he step in to support his wife, or distance himself from the fallout? Meanwhile, Rogan's influence continues to snowball. His platform, known for its raw, unfiltered discussions, has transformed the scandal from a legal setback into a cultural moment. With millions hanging on his every word, the pressure on Blake Lively and Hollywood's elite is reaching unprecedented levels. What happens next? Will Blake Lively attempt a redemption arc, or will this scandal mark the end of her reign as Hollywood royalty? One thing is certain: this takedown isn't over. Not by a long shot. Stay tuned, drama detectives, because this story is just getting started, and we're here for every scandalous second. In the world of Hollywood, creative disagreements and hurt feelings are almost expected. However, when disputes escalate beyond mere artistic clashes and venture into the realm of reputational damage and legal ramifications, the stakes rise exponentially. This is precisely what has unfolded in the high-profile legal drama surrounding Blake Lively and director Justin Baldoni. The fallout from this legal battle isn't just a blemish on a career, it's a full-blown crisis that could alter the course of several Hollywood heavyweights' futures. At the heart of this controversy lies a legal defeat that has sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. This wasn't a subtle settlement or a carefully negotiated compromise. It was a decisive, unequivocal loss for Blake Lively. Reports suggest that this wasn't a situation where terms were amicably agreed upon behind closed doors. Instead, it was a clear-cut victory for Baldoni and his team, possibly through a summary judgment or a courtroom decision that left little room for ambiguity. The details of the legal proceedings remain cloaked in confidentiality, but the outcome speaks volumes. Blake Lively has faced a significant and undeniable legal humiliation, a stark validation of the accusations made against her. This wasn't just about creative differences or heated debates on set. The court's decision implies that her alleged actions were not only ethically questionable but also legally indefensible. This is more than just a PR nightmare. It's a formal, court-sanctioned judgment that threatens to dismantle the very foundation of her career and public image. Enter Joe Rogan, whose sharp commentary has amplified the fallout. His influence and widespread reach have turned this legal defeat into a reputational catastrophe for Lively. Rogan's condemnation isn't just loud, it's resonant, fueling a narrative that paints Lively not as a misunderstood artist but as someone who allegedly abused her influence in Hollywood. The accusations against Lively are not to be taken lightly. Reports suggest that her alleged behavior went beyond mere disagreements over creative vision. The accusations paint a picture of a deliberate, calculated effort to undermine Justin Baldoni's authority and reputation. What's more disturbing is the alleged sustained campaign of ridicule that Lively reportedly orchestrated. This goes far beyond leaked text messages. This could involve behind-the-scenes whispers spread to studio executives, veiled criticisms subtly leaked to industry insiders, or even undermining actions on set aimed at damaging Baldoni's credibility in front of cast and crew. The lawsuit likely presented meticulous documentation of incidents where Lively allegedly leveraged her significant Hollywood influence to mock and belittle Baldoni, using her status and connections as a weapon. In court, these actions likely weren't interpreted as mere venting or creative frustrations but rather as part of a calculated strategy designed to dismantle Baldoni's professional standing. The legal argument would have focused on proving that her alleged actions were malicious and damaging, going far beyond typical creative conflicts. This wasn't just about asserting creative control, it was about, as the accusations suggest, systematically eroding Baldoni's reputation and authority. Now, the legal defeat Lively has suffered has cemented a devastating narrative. She's no longer viewed as a passionate artist defending her creative vision but rather as a Hollywood power player accused of weaponizing her influence in a harmful and destructive manner. And with Joe Rogan's voice amplifying the fallout, this story is reaching audiences far beyond Hollywood's inner circle. But Blake Lively isn't the only one feeling the heat. Her husband, Ryan Reynolds, has found himself caught in the crossfire. Though not directly named in the lawsuit, Ryan's close association with Blake has placed him squarely in the public eye. His carefully curated public image, built on charm, wit, and the massive success of his Deadpool franchise, is now under intense scrutiny. While initial reports don't implicate Ryan in any wrongdoing, the nature of his unwavering public support for Blake has led to whispers of potential complicity. Industry insiders and fans alike are beginning to question whether Ryan's loyalty might have blinded him to the ethical and legal implications of Blake's alleged behavior. Was he merely supporting his wife, or did his influence play a role in encouraging or enabling her actions? Adding fuel to the fire is the resurfacing of the Deadpool 3 joke controversy, which, in this new context, is being re-examined through a more critical lens. What was once dismissed as edgy humor is now seen by some as a possible reflection of deeper issues, an example of Hollywood's power dynamics at play, with Ryan potentially using his platform to subtly retaliate against those who crossed his wife. As the scandal deepens, Ryan's usual lighthearted, witty social media presence has gone eerily silent. This absence hasn't gone unnoticed by fans and industry observers, with many interpreting his silence as a sign of guilt, or at least as a calculated retreat from the public eye while the scandal unfolds. This legal and reputational catastrophe isn't just affecting personal lives, it has significant professional ramifications. Blake Lively's carefully constructed public persona has been shattered, and her future in Hollywood is now uncertain. Projects she was previously attached to may now face delays or cancellations, and studios might think twice before collaborating with her in the future. For Ryan Reynolds, the implications could be equally damaging. His brand is heavily intertwined with his family-friendly image and his role as a witty, relatable everyman. The fallout from this scandal threatens to tarnish that image, potentially impacting future projects and business ventures, including his lucrative Deadpool franchise and other endorsements. The broader implications of this scandal extend beyond Blake and Ryan. It raises pressing questions about Hollywood's power dynamics and the responsibility of those in influential positions. The entertainment industry is no stranger to stories of power misuse, but this particular saga highlights how reputation, influence, and legal consequences are increasingly intertwined. As the dust settles, the narrative remains painfully clear. Blake Lively's legal defeat is a monumental moment, not just for her career but for Hollywood as a whole. The consequences are severe, the reputational damage profound, and the fallout potentially long-lasting for everyone involved. For now, the spotlight remains firmly fixed on Blake and Ryan, with the world watching closely to see how they navigate the aftermath of this Hollywood catastrophe. Will there be public apologies? Legal appeals? Or will this scandal mark the beginning of a long, difficult road to redemption for one of Hollywood's most high-profile couples? One thing is certain, their reputations, once considered untouchable, are now hanging by a thread. And in an industry where perception is everything, that could be the most devastating blow of all. Ryan Reynolds is undeniably feeling the devastating shockwaves as his once pristine image takes a heavy hit. His carefully cultivated brand, synonymous with charm, humor, and box office success, now finds itself overshadowed by association. The source of this sudden turbulence? His wife, Blake Lively's, escalating legal and public relations catastrophe. The pressing question now looming over both Reynolds and Marvel Studios is clear. Can the Deadpool franchise, Ryan's crown jewel, withstand this reputational fallout? Or is even the merc with a mouth vulnerable to the toxic waves of a Hollywood scandal? Despite a lack of concrete evidence connecting Ryan directly to any wrongdoing, the ripple effects are undeniable. In the unforgiving ecosystem of Hollywood, perception is everything. Even before Ends With Us, director Justin Baldoni's discussions about his faith reportedly stirred quiet discomfort on set, reminiscent of an intensity that some compared to Scientology. Those sources clarified that the comparison was more about presence than any illicit behavior. Still, when controversy stirs, the whispers quickly snowball into full-blown storms. Now, Hollywood's notoriously fickle and ruthlessly pragmatic machine seems to be freezing Blake Lively out with cold precision. The industry's reaction has been swift, almost surgical. The lawsuit loss, amplified by Joe Rogan's relentless public condemnation, has triggered a near-instantaneous shift in sentiment. A-list producers and studio executives, ever conscious of public perception and financial risk, are reportedly halting projects even remotely linked to Blake. The once coveted leading lady is now being viewed through a starkly different lens, as a potential liability. The whispers are no longer confined to closed-door meetings, they're echoing across studio backlots and Hollywood power lunches. Is Blake Lively now toxic? Has her reputation become so radioactive that casting her would be a gamble, risking unwanted controversy, negative headlines, and the dreaded label of box office poison? Blake's meticulously crafted public image, a Hollywood darling radiating effortless charm and red carpet perfection, is shattering under the weight of this scandal. The narrative is shifting, fast and brutally, painting her not as the beloved starlet but as a behind-the-scenes manipulator. The rumors suggest she wielded her influence recklessly, engaging in actions that led to a legal battle with disastrous outcomes. Public opinion, fueled by Rogan's immense reach and the lawsuit's outcome, is mirroring Hollywood's cold shoulder. Social media platforms are flooded with criticism, memes mocking her legal humiliation are going viral, and the hashtag #CancelBlakeLively is gaining unsettling momentum. Fans who once adored her every Instagram post are now turning their backs, expressing disappointment, disgust, and, in some cases, outright anger at her alleged actions. The fairy tale image of the perfect couple, Blake and Ryan's carefully curated brand of marital bliss, is now fractured beyond repair. What once appeared as a loving, power couple is now viewed through a much darker lens. A ruthless duo allegedly using their influence to suppress rivals and manipulate media narratives in their favor. This isn't a PR hiccup that can be smoothed over with a heartfelt apology or a strategic interview. This scandal has the potential to be a career-crippling implosion of catastrophic proportions. In a world where perception often becomes reality, Blake Lively's fall from grace could signal the end of her reign as a top-tier leading lady, pushing her from Hollywood's A-list into obscurity. The chilling reality is already setting in. Projects that Blake was actively pursuing are being discreetly shelved. Studios are quietly backing away, and casting directors are reportedly being told to pass on scripts that feature her name. Brand endorsements, once a lucrative source of income, are vanishing almost overnight, with major companies scrambling to sever ties to avoid being tainted by association. The long-term outlook is even grimmer. Can Blake Lively, even with the best crisis management team that money can buy, stage a comeback? Is there a path forward for her to reclaim her once untouchable status and rebuild her shattered reputation? Some industry insiders speculate that Blake's only viable strategy might be a carefully orchestrated rehabilitation campaign. This would require a genuine public apology, interviews aimed at showing remorse and vulnerability, and perhaps a temporary retreat from the limelight. Taking on low-profile, independent film roles could also help demonstrate her commitment to serious acting rather than celebrity influence. But in Hollywood, a town that is relentlessly competitive and unforgiving, rebuilding an image on this scale is a Herculean task. Especially with Joe Rogan's continued public condemnation and the lawsuit loss looming like a permanent stain on her record, Blake Lively faces a seemingly insurmountable challenge. The fallout is already taking a tangible toll. Rumors are solidifying into confirmed reports, major projects are slipping through her fingers, and potential collaborations are drying up. Casting directors are steering clear, and endorsement deals are being pulled at an alarming rate. The chilling question now circulating through Hollywood's elite circles is whether Blake's career can survive this storm. Is there any chance for a resurrection, or is she destined for a slow, agonizing descent from A-list royalty to industry exile? The future for Blake Lively remains uncertain, shrouded in a fog of scandal and public backlash. If she hopes to rebuild her image, it will require more than just strategic PR. It will demand humility, accountability, and an unwavering commitment to reshaping the narrative around her name. But with every passing day, the shadow of this scandal grows darker and more ominous. In a place where reputation is everything, Blake Lively may be facing the most challenging role of her career, redemption. With a career once sparkling with promise, Blake Lively now finds herself enveloped in a dense, suffocating fog of uncertainty. Her once bright star, an emblem of Hollywood elegance and charm, now flickers precariously on the edge of irreversible damage. What was once a golden journey through red carpets and critically acclaimed roles now teeters on the brink of collapse. The devastating confluence of legal defeat, public condemnation, and the cold, unflinching judgment of Hollywood's elite has cast a long shadow over her future. Now, let's dive deep into the brutal reality of this unfolding Hollywood downfall. A story that seems less like a scandal and more like a public execution. Leading the charge? None other than Joe Rogan, who, with his massive digital platform, is not merely offering commentary but delivering a crushing critique that feels like a sledgehammer to Lively's carefully built reputation. His voice, amplified by millions of loyal listeners, carries the weight of a cultural gavel, each word dismantling her public image piece by painful piece. But what exactly set off this firestorm? The catalyst for this public unraveling is Blake Lively's reported and legally validated loss in a high-profile defamation lawsuit. The accusations? An alleged campaign to mock and sabotage fellow actor Justin Baldoni. The legal defeat wasn't just a courtroom loss. It was a public spectacle, magnified under the ruthless glare of Hollywood's ever-watchful eye. And in true Hollywood fashion, where loyalty is often dictated by box office numbers and public image, the industry's response has been swift and brutal. Opportunities are evaporating, projects are being pulled, and Blake's name, once a ticket to prestige, has become a liability. Public opinion, fueled by Rogan's relentless commentary and his massive audience, has turned into an unforgiving tidal wave. Social media is ablaze with criticism, memes, and think pieces dissecting every aspect of the scandal. The narrative is no longer in Lively's control. It's being shaped and reshaped by the court of public opinion, a court that can be far harsher than any legal system. And then there's Ryan Reynolds. While not directly implicated in the lawsuit or Rogan's targeted critiques, Reynolds, Blake's husband and frequent collaborator, is feeling the heat by association. Their relationship, once celebrated as Hollywood's golden couple, now faces its most challenging test. Major franchises, brands, and studios are reportedly reconsidering their partnerships with Reynolds, wary of the potential fallout from being too closely tied to Lively's tarnished reputation. The shadow cast by this scandal threatens not just her career, but his as well, a toxic ripple effect that could derail one of Hollywood's most bankable stars. The question now looms large. Is this the definitive end of Blake Lively's reign as an A-list Hollywood queen? Can there be a comeback from such a devastating series of blows? Or is this just the beginning of a long, painful descent from the pinnacle of stardom to the harsh reality of public disgrace? It's a narrative that has played out before in Hollywood's history, but each fall from grace is uniquely brutal in its own way. Blake's next moves will be critical. Can she orchestrate a carefully crafted redemption arc? Could a heartfelt public apology, a shift in career direction, or even a groundbreaking role reignite the spark that once made her a household name? Or will the combined weight of legal defeat, public humiliation, and relentless media scrutiny snuff out any hope of resurrection? Joe Rogan's involvement adds an entirely new dimension to this scandal. His influence extends beyond typical celebrity gossip. It's a cultural force. When Rogan speaks, millions listen, and his critiques can shape narratives and fuel public sentiment like few others can. His ongoing commentary seems less about offering balanced analysis and more about delivering a scorched earth takedown that leaves little room for redemption. Is Rogan justified in his relentless criticism, or has his takedown crossed the line into something more personal, more vindictive? The public remains divided, with some supporting his no-holds-barred approach to accountability and others questioning whether this level of public humiliation is warranted. This scandal isn't just about legal battles or PR nightmares. It's about the brutal nature of Hollywood itself. The same industry that once celebrated Blake Lively's every success is now turning away with chilling efficiency. It's a reminder that in Hollywood, your image is currency, and once it's devalued, redemption can be a near impossible uphill climb. So, what's next for Blake Lively? Is there a flicker of hope amid this storm of condemnation? Only time will tell if she can weather this brutal chapter and emerge with any semblance of her former glory intact. The coming months will likely reveal whether Blake can reshape her narrative or if she's destined to become another cautionary tale of Hollywood's merciless nature. I want to hear your brutally honest thoughts in the comments. Do you think Joe Rogan's takedown is justified? Is Blake Lively's career officially over, or is there still a chance for redemption? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for all the unfiltered updates on Hollywood's most shocking scandals and spectacular meltdowns. You know I'll be here, Mike ready, dissecting every twist, turn, and dramatic reveal as this explosive saga unfolds. And trust me, drama addicts, this Hollywood destruction derby is far from over. Stay tuned, stay messy, and keep sipping that scalding tea. With the next act in this Hollywood horror story just around the corner, you won't want to miss a second of it. Until next time, keep those notifications on. This roller coaster is just getting started.